Hi everybody! Today is a state holiday. I have a day off. I finished reading a book yesterday and the only book I'm reading right now is a non-fiction. This is the only book I'm reading, so it's slower. I'm taking it bit by bit, and it means today I'm starting to read a new book. And the book I'm gonna read is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Of course, I don't expect to read this 850 pages book in one day, but I will start today and I will be doing little vlogs and checks about my thoughts and feelings about this book. As you may know, I read The Priory of the Orange Tree last year and I really enjoyed reading this book. It wasn't like full 5-star read, but I just really liked it. Before I started this book, I heard some opinions that the ending was very underwhelming, so I didn't fix on the ending. I didn't really like it that much, but the rest of the book is a great journey and the world building is rich. And I honestly think this would be like a nice book for people who are not reading fantasy that much, because it's not like heavy, grim, dark adult fantasy. It is the classic good versus evil. There are multiple POVs and rich world building. The story is taking place in different parts of the world, but it's somehow, even with these many pages, it's a cozy and easy read. You're not gonna struggle reading through it. I'm excited to start this book today and we will see if it's actually better, because this is a prequel to the other book. It came out later, but the story takes place many years before the story of the first book. Literally everybody is saying the prequel is even better than the Priory of the Orange Tree, and I can't wait to read this. It has been a year since I read the first book. I think it's high time we gonna start this one. Also, I want to address that this might be probably my favorite book edition ever. I really enjoy the Dune format, how smaller it is, it's super cute, but that one, the quality of the book is not that great. It creased really bad after just one read. This one has no creasing and it has many pages. It bent very nicely. I like the shiny cover. I just feel like this might be like the ultimate book format, in my opinion. So more books like this, please. I have my black tea ready. Let's start reading this one. It has been a few hours since I've been reading this book. It's gonna be evening soon and honestly I kept getting distracted, so I didn't get as much reading done as I wanted. I had a lot of time and somehow I managed to read only 10% of the book, which means 85 pages, which is not bad, but I wanted to read way more. So what are my first thoughts? As I started reading, I got this sense of deja vu about the first 50 pages, let's say, because while reading The Priory of the Orange Tree, I definitely was feeling a little bit lost at the start. It's happening here too, because you are introduced to a lot of characters, few of POVs in different kind of worlds, and you don't really know what's going on and what are the politics. Thankfully, the more you read, the more you begin to ease into it and understand. I kinda got into it already, so the confusion part is done. Similar to the other book, we have cast of few characters, so multiple POVs, and each character is in different part of the world. And just as with the Priory, we have different chapters of East, West, and South. The main characters are all female, which can be said about the first book as well, except one character I really liked, this older guy, Nicholas. I really like that character, so I'm interested to see if there's gonna be a prominent male character. I really like it so far, the setting is good. I also put this on my Instagram story and literally everyone is saying they love it and I should love it as well. I'm excited to go through the rest of it over the next few days, maybe 2 weeks, I would say. I will keep vlogging, so keep watching if you want to know how I rate the book at the end. It's been a couple of days. There's been some upgrades going on with the bookshelves we have at home. We went shopping and we went into IKEA. 2 out of our 3 bookshelves are from IKEA, and we decided it's time to buy the extension to the bookshelf. So now it's a little bit taller and I love it, and it's a little bit more space for books. So that's amazing. Of course, it's very high now, like the books I can put up there, and it's very high. So I ended up grabbing these stairs as well. They're little stairs, but a little bit higher than the most popular ones from IKEA, and they can also be folded a little bit, so it's easier to store them. Those are the news. Unfortunately, the third bookshelf is not from IKEA. I wouldn't put extender on that anyway, so eventually we will get a new one to match the others. Concerning the book I'm reading, you know this one. As you can see, I'm nowhere near finished. It's a long book. Right now I'm 50% done. I'm on page 473 out of 850, so that's halfway done. What do I think about this book so far? Well, I'm happy to say that just as with Priory, I really like reading this. It's a long book, but it doesn't feel like super long. Not in the annoying sense, like it feels slow and you don't appreciate how long it is and you wish it was shorter. I don't feel that way. This is a good long book. I like all of the characters. We have a male character as well, Wolf. At this point in the book there was some revelation which I kinda did not pick up. I guess you can pick it up, I didn't, so I was excited about this reveal. I honestly still don't trust that one character that appeared out of nowhere, but we will see. We're 50% done. So yes, I'm a little bit suspicious of her. I'm really enjoying this book and I'm excited to see where the rest of the story is going. I will give you an update when I read more. See you then! Friday, I just came home from work and I have the last 50 pages of the book to read. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna sit down and read the rest of the book. I just finished the book right now. Now I will share my thoughts. They will be spoiler free, and then maybe I will do a spoiler section. Let me start by rating this book. I gave the first book, I think, 4.5 stars. It was 4 at first, and then I rounded it up a little bit because I really enjoyed it. And this one, I think I'm going to give 5 stars as I predicted. Overall, I really liked this book. I was not bored with it, even though it was very long. It wasn't the type of book that I couldn't put down. It wasn't like I need to read every single day as soon as I come home and I can't go to sleep without reading 5 more chapters. It was very enjoyable, but I also did some other things, like played Baldur's Gate 3 with my husband every other day, and that's why it took me 2 weeks plus 2 days, so 16 days to read this. Random side note, I noticed with this one that the back creased a little bit, unfortunately. The first one definitely did not crease on the spine, but it's not that visible, it's fine. Interesting, because it's only 50 pages longer, and it started creasing in 1/3 in. And it looks like literally the same type of cover. Anyway, what I think about the story. I really enjoyed the multiple POVs again. I was confused just in the intro, then I got into it. After we get to know the characters a little bit, it was easier to follow what's happening and when we are. I enjoyed all the different places in the world that we visited. In the Priory it was south, east and west, I think, also the abyss, but now it was south, east, west and also north, and I really like that. This maybe Skyrim vibes, Nords, Vikings. I really enjoy that, and I'm kind of sad there's no map for that place, only the tip of the coast. Seeing a map of Hrod would be really nice. I do think the characters were also really good. I enjoyed them more than Priory, because in Priory I liked Nicholas the most, and I thought the 2 main female characters were a little bit too similar, so here I really appreciated that every single character was a different, individual, separate entity, and it was easy to tell them apart. My favorite character, I think, is Tunuva, and I really liked that a sapphic romance, long-term romance with Esbar. That was really cute and it warmed my heart. I also liked Wolf, even through some of his questionable decisions. I really liked Glorian and also her parents, especially her father, Barthold. They were also goals, their parents together. Some other characters, Symoo, I think she was fine, but I didn't care much about her. We saw only from her this teenage stage and really not great decisions impacting the main characters we were following. I liked also East with Dumai. I gotta say that part of the world and these characters were my least favorite overall from all of them. I still enjoyed them. So I really appreciate, once again, as with Priory here, I appreciate the world building, different places, different empires. I would love even more from that, because we follow the characters and their stories and their struggles while set in this star and in the middle of the conflict that has arisen in this book. We don't get to see almost anything from politics in Leja, only in the Inis and in Seiki. That would be also nice to see more of that and some other countries. As I said, I liked the moments of Tunuva and Esbar, their dialogues. I really like these characters and I cared about them, but it wasn't as strong as, for example, as with Robin Hobb and Fitz and Burik, when it's always emotional gut punch right in my stomach. And here it was not as strong but still enjoyable, and just as the first book, it was even though there is death and illness and enemies, I still enjoyed this and kinda consider like a cozy read, because it's this lot of pages, just sit down, this nice world building, these enjoyable characters, and well, I guess like it's gonna go well, like the world is not gonna end because this happens 500 years before the other book, so obviously the world is still there. How I feel about the ending, that is a question. With the Priory of the Orange Tree, the ending was easily the weakest part of the book, and it took some enjoyment from the story for a lot of people. I think the ending was better. It's hard to say honestly, because with Priory, as you may know, there is an end battle with this big bad, and like most of the characters I think are there in the battle. It's kind of anticlimactic, but they like defeat the big bad enemy. And this one, almost all of them are like in different kind of places, each have this different struggle. I enjoyed it more, but still it wasn't a strong ending. Okay, this is the second book I read by this author, and I feel like that's the weakest point in her writing. I really enjoyed it overall. It's super cozy, really good characters, great world building, but the ending, it's lacking still. It just wasn't like amazing ending, like let's say Sanderson, but that's a different category, like the Sunderland. Okay, to answer the question I was asking at the beginning, going into this, is this better than Priory of the Orange Tree? As you see with the rating 2, my answer will be yes, this is better. The characters are better, the world building, especially because I already read one book from this world, it was even more enjoyable, I got to know more, and I will gladly read another book, which I know is coming. I will read it. I will move to the spoiler section right now, so don't watch it. If you want to read this book, read this book. Okay, spoiler section now. How do I feel about the ending? Of course, I wasn't happy about the end of Dumai. It was also kind of like short, and not like I didn't see a point in it. I still didn't get the answer to why it needed to happen. I understand she was born with a star. She could have given the stone to the dragons to use. Even if she would wither as the comet passed, it was said that it lasted at least for a week, I think, and she ended right there. I was right there! I'm just slightly confused, so I didn't feel as much as I wanted to. It was said that forbidden love blossomed and was true, and it was cut short. But also I was pretty sure that one of them will end up like this, so it wasn't like surprising. At the end of this book, we see these consequences that ties in with the Priory of the Orange Tree, like the sister of Priory being at court with the Innis Queens. It's nice to see Wolf being more open to accept and give love and having like a happy ending, even though I'm kind of confused because he doesn't believe the Virtudom anymore, but he was in Innis and like he wants to be with his old family at least a little bit, and then Symoo gives him the key and says, oh, you can't be in Innis anymore because the witch will find you. That was slightly confusing. He doesn't want to be the knight anymore, so that's fine. I would like to know where did he end up. The ending of Glorian was kinda heartbreaking. Even with what happened to Dumai, the ending of Glorian was the worst. All of this book, Glorian had this struggle, and it's a point being made with this character about the bodily autonomy, especially with women, and how she wants to decide what happens with her body. She doesn't want to do stuff against her will because somebody says she has to do it. Freedom of choice and choosing what you personally want and it's the best for you and what you desire, and just not having your body in power of someone else. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see her go through that and struggle so much and doing it against her will. And it's absolutely heart-shattering to read how she has to face with the fact that also her daughter will be forced to go through that. She is shown like this big, tiny back door of accepting like being a heathen, converting to some other side. She didn't have any influence before that, so of course she's not inclined to just randomly say goodbye to Virtudom and the saint, which has been taught to her from the day she was born. This is going into very sensitive territory, but yes, a religion overall, when there is like very religious family, the child doesn't have much choice. Growing up with this one faith and being told that this is the only one good true faith, she believes in that, everything else is a lie, and she has to accept anything else that comes with the belief, and it just doesn't compute here because she is traumatized by what happened, and she only reclaimed her own body after she gave birth to fulfill her destiny, as it was said, of only being a womb for the country. Only after that does she reclaim her body, and she doesn't have to do it ever again. But if it was her choice, she would have never done it, and now she has to accept her daughter will go through the same thing. Maybe she will desire it, and she will dream about family and having kids, but maybe she will be just like her and it will traumatize her, and of course she doesn't want her child to be hurt. It's very clashing. The option of not having the faith she has is not an option for her at that point. She had no other perspective or anyone who would offer that, so that's absolutely heartbreaking, honestly. Now I'm even more sad thinking about it. Anyway, that brings up like really important point, especially for women in this society. It is always your decision. If you feel like having kids, a lot of kids, go and have lots of kids. If you don't feel like having any children, please don't have any children, because that's what you personally want, and it doesn't matter what your family says, it doesn't matter about the pressure the society is putting on women or people in general, but especially women. Obviously, do what you want to do, what is best for you, because it's absolutely a huge life-changing decision. So reading about someone being powerless in this case, it was not easy to read about her case when she was forced into it against her will. A side note, I think like Esbar and Tunuva are like strong women, and they are not stupid, they are intelligent, but somehow they just didn't see the obvious enemy, suspicious person, a newcomer with maybe some strange powers being culprit of some weird things that happened there. That was kind of odd. They suddenly became blind. They didn't even talk about it, like, oh, maybe this woman, Kante, with these new powers we never heard of, she's like fooling around here, like, let's get rid of her. No, they did not think about that. I did enjoy like the reveal when Kante said, oh, actually your son is not dead, and actually I know where he is, and it's this guy Wolf, and he's up north, or like in Innis. There were hints, definitely. That was really nice, like, oh my god, okay, so that is her son. Also, it was not nice when he had like to choose, okay, so this is also my family, but I have this other family, and I also have this new friend, possible romance I want to spend time with, and being so torn all over the world. He must be traveling a lot in his life after that. But I do have to say, it was very well written when Tunuva decides to go and find her son after all these years. Like, yes, I want to find my son, which is a possibility, I will believe it. Esbar doesn't want to see her hurt again, so she thinks it's false, and she doesn't want her to leave and leave all of them behind, and her and the people she loves. And when she comes back, they reconcile and they still love each other, and we see mostly Tunuva's perspective. And of course, she still feels the same about Esbar, and she apologizes, but she will do it again. Esbar understands why she left, but she also cannot help but feel this feeling of being left behind and being the second choice at that moment, even though she absolutely like agree with the reason behind leaving. It's still valid for her to feel this way, and she communicates it, so that's very nice. Communication is important. Sometimes feelings can be silly, or they can be these negative feelings you really feel like you shouldn't have and shouldn't feel, and maybe you feel guilty about it, but they are valid feelings and it's okay to have them while accepting still the other side. Emotional intelligence is a thing for a reason. Yes, I'm just happy they are together in the end. Yes, I think that might be all. As I said, I enjoyed this book a lot. It's a 5-star read. I hope you give it a try too. You will be fine reading A Day of Fallen Night first before Priory of the Orange Tree, but I would still recommend to read Priory of the Orange Tree first. And I would say read this book soon after, so you remember every detail, because I don't remember every detail. It's been a year and I wish I did. I still enjoyed the whole thing. That's gonna be all from me. Thank you for watching this reading vlog. I will do this again maybe in the future. It has been a long book. I can't wait to pick some new book after this, even though I loved it. Thank you for watching. Stay bookish and keep reading books.